escrow. But now what? There's a lot of major players that come into the mix once you get your offer accepted, and it can be really confusing because there's multiple processes going on at the same time. I remember when we bought our house and when we've refied, every time I tell my husband kind of what's going on in escrow, he's super confused. Whether it's, who does what a title company is, there's just a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and it can definitely be overwhelming. So what I did for my husband is I actually busted out his whiteboard, like his favorite way to learn things, and I went through every single step in the process, who was responsible for it, and kind of made the picture really clear for him, which was really helpful. So I wanted to take a few minutes today to let you guys know a little bit more about the escrow process and who those major players are. Because trust me, it takes a big team to get everything across the finish line to get you your keys at the end of the day. When you're talking about those major players, there's a few that you're going to be aware of and maybe a few you've never heard of. First of all, there's going to be your realtor, the person who helps get your offer accepted and negotiates the terms of the deal. You have your loan officer who works for your lender. Your loan officer's job is to determine your eligibility for a loan, examine those financials, collect your paperwork, and look at those documents. You also have a loan processor who's probably the most important person on the loan officer's team. The loan processor's job is to make sure all those documents are there and is pushing your file through the funding process. You also have an escrow company whose general job description basically is to take the contract that's been executed and agreed upon between the buyer and seller and carry it out. They're a neutral third-party company that holds all of the money and makes sure that the contract is executed per those terms at the end of the day. You also have the title company. The title company's job is to provide title insurance, which means that you're able to buy the property free and clear, and they're providing you insurance against any future claims of ownership against the property. So how does this all come together to get you your keys at the end of the day? Well, it's going to start with your realtor and your lender or loan officer working really closely together. We're going to go ahead and talk about your parameters, your affordability, the financials, and what we're looking at in terms of your mortgage financing. Your loan officer's job is to determine that eligibility, provide us with a pre-approval letter so we can go shopping. But once you're in escrow, they take it a step further. They have to make sure they have all of your pertinent documents collected and passing them off to the processor, who's then going to submit the file to underwriting. The loan processor and the loan officer work really closely together to make sure that that's happening in a nice, timely fashion. The escrow company, in the meantime, is going to collect your earnest money deposit, and me, your realtor, I'm going to be working to schedule all of your inspections, review disclosures, and take care of the transactional side of things. Smooth sailing so far. Once you get to that point, the file from your lender is going to go to what's called underwriting. And the underwriter is basically God. Underwriter's not happy, no one's getting paid, there is no purchase without the underwriter signing off. So the underwriter is going to take that wonderful file that your loan processor has compiled. They're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. They're going to calculate your debt-to-income ratios, make sure you qualify. They're going to go through your bank statements. They're going to need to source any deposits. They're going to need to know where all money in and out comes from. It's definitely going to feel a little invasive. They're going to come back to you with a few questions or conditions of additional documents or explanations that are needed to be provided in order to get you your loan. So while the lender, loan officer, processor, and underwriter are all working on the mortgage side of things, we're conducting your inspections, making sure you're familiar with the condition and quality of the property. The escrow company is making sure that the buyer gets their deposit in and fulfilling the seller's obligations as well for escrow in terms of title paperwork. The title company is providing a preliminary title search, which shows that, hey, we're absolutely able to insure this property against any adverse claims of ownership. So meanwhile, you're kind of sitting there, you're having a lot of people ask you for documents, you're having a lot of things to sign, and it can definitely still be overwhelming, but trust me, we're just about halfway there. Once your file with the lender gets through underwriting, the underwriter makes a final determination whether or not you'll be approved for your loan. Now, before that, they can actually come back with what's called conditions. They can issue you a conditional approval, basically saying everything looks great here. We just need these updated bank statements or these updated pay stubs, and we're going to call those outstanding conditions that need to be fulfilled in order to get your final loan approval. Once you get your final loan approval, we get everybody's favorite words, clear to close. That is when it's time to start celebrating. You have a few more days from that point on to get your keys. Escrow is going to work with the lender to make sure that they get your loan documents. The escrow company will arrange for you to sign your loan documents. They'll be returned to the lender, and then your loan will fund. In the meantime, we'll work on lifting your contingencies for inspection, appraisal, and loan, and getting you one step closer to getting your keys. The final stop at the station is the clear to close and the recording of your new grant deed. Your title company actually does that with your county once they have the okay from both the escrow company and the lender to do so. And that, in a nutshell, is how you close on a house. Want your free copy of that roadmap that I wrote down on my husband's whiteboard about the buyer escrow process? Just click on the link below for a free downloadable PDF, and then you'll be off to escrow in no time. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more Real Estate Unwrapped.